All right, so this is video 3 for the video switcher. A couple things that are happening on this screen. This first box is called our scope box. And what this allows us to do is when we pull up different camera views, whatever camera we pull into our preview window, which is that one right up there on the top left, we can then look down in the scope box and we can look at the waveform, and it will give us an idea of how bright the picture is, how much luminance is in the picture. Our goal here is to see our graph, which will be represented by these kind of white waveforms. We want the top of the waveform to be anywhere between like 90 and 100. If we see it all the way up at 100, we know that it's too bright, and it's what's called clipping. If we see that the waveform is all the way down to 0 and underneath, we know that it's what's called crushing. It means it's too dark. So we want that waveform to be right in this area, and that tells us that our camera is at the right brightness. Now, if it's too low, if it's down in here, we can ask our camera operator to go ahead and open up their iris, and they can make it brighter, and their operators know how to do that. If it's all the way up, then you can ask them to close it a little bit and turn it down a little bit. And you'll see it move in real time, but you want it to be in that. Now, if it's too dark and they opened it up all the way and it's still not bright enough, it means that the shot just isn't very good, and there's just not enough light. So that usually means a talk with the lighting operator to see if there's any way they can add more light without disrupting the look of what's happening on the stage. The next thing that we'll talk about is going to be the Boxcast window. So here we have our upcoming broadcast, and we can see our series. These are for the next 6 weeks. So what I do on Sundays is I come to the next one in line. So October 2nd would be this Sunday. So on a Sunday morning, I would click on this. And this screen just gives me information about the service. It'll allow me to see if there's any issues with the streaming, whether we're losing packets or the internet's slowing down. It'll allow us to see if for some reason, the service is not started. We'll be able to see from this area here. It also gives us some controls in this area. This only happens when you're live on Sunday, where you can start the stream early and you can stop the stream. So if the service gets done early and there's still another 20 minutes, if you look here, the service is set to start at 10:25 and end at 12:15. If we end at 12, we don't want 15 minutes of extra just stuff being recorded, so we can actually come to this area and we can stop the stream. Okay, and then the final thing I'll show you in this video is going to be this unit. This is called the Boxcaster. This is the unit that actually streams online. So a couple things to note here. Ethernet connected, it needs to say that. This audio section, if the audio is being captured properly, you'll see a meter bouncing up and down here. And then thirdly, there's a picture window here. If everything is connected properly and it's streaming, you should see what the cameras are recording here. The information also here is when the next service is, and when this thing is recording, this color turns from blue to red. So just something to just to know for streaming.